If you guys are looking to buy sports cards, basketball cards, football cards, baseball cards, comic books, memorabilia, do what I do. Use the Fanatics Marketplace. Just make sure you use the affiliate link that's located in this YouTube description at the very top or the QR code that's attached. Hey guys, Bryan with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana, and I've got our recurring guest Jesse Craig with Acquir, one of the biggest and baddest consigners out there and private deal consummator. You should call yourself a private deal consummator. Private PDS, private deal, no PDC, private deal consummator. That's what PDC. You are. You put buyers with sellers on some of the biggest and baddest and nastiest stuff we've ever seen. Jesse, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, coming from the great state of Oregon over here. Little wet this time of year, but but we're pretty used to that in December.
What is the temperature in Oregon right now? Let me just tell you, in Baton Rouge, in a 24-hour period, it was 82, and I was in the pool with my kids. No bullshit. 2 days ago, 22. It got down to 22 the next night. So my sinuses, you know, as an old person with sinus issues, are like confused. They don't know what's going on. A 60-degree drop is serious, man.
We're pretty consistent out here. In the winter, we usually go from a high of 55 to a low of in the mid-30s typically.
That's not bad.
We don't get freezing too often, but you get overcast and some rain. And but then look, Oregon summers they're the best, man. You pay for it in the winter, but you get the most beautiful green summers with zero humidity. It's amazing.
I'm so jealous. Yeah, we walk outside and we sweat through our clothes down here. It's gross.
Lots of showers.
I got you here because I want to talk about some of the cards that you guys have in this auction. It's ending Thursday. I'm going to let this thing go tonight, and this is the 16th. So this is Tuesday. So in 2 days and 9 hours to be precise, all of the cards that we're going to look at today are going to be ending. These are all cards that are listed on Fanatics December premiere auction under the Acquir filter. Brock couldn't join us. He's too important. He did it again. He big timed us. And so it's just me and Jesse today. Jesse, we buried the lead. Y'all have 67 cards. Do you understand the thing yet? The 6-7?
Oh, God. Unfortunately, I do. I have twin boys that are 9. So yes, I know all about 6-7. And
all right.
It's not allowed in our household.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I might have a surprise for you on the thumbnail to this video, but that's okay. We'll save that for later. Right? I'll let you be surprised. We're going to talk about 67 cards on Acquir. We can't talk about all 67 and jam it into an hour. So we're going to kind of pick and choose some cards, but this is not just basketball cards, Jesse. We're going to talk about some hockey, some football, some soccer, and of course some basketball as well. I'm going to screen share it, and we're just going to get rolling. And I wish we could talk about every card. We just can't. And it's a pretty nice December premiere auction. You guys have 67 cards. Let's start by looking at this Pete Maravich, this SGC9 Maravich that's on the screen here. What do you know about this? And talk to me about this little verbiage below where it says includes Topps vault print.
Yeah, you can see they included an image of it. Yeah, so the original print from Topps when they did the card actually comes with this card, which is very unique. It's really cool to have the original print that they use because they didn't do printing plates necessarily back then. They had prints. So it's got the cert from the Topps vault and everything with it, but just a really cool, unique piece to come with the actual card for Pete Maravich, who is a really underrated basketball player. There's a lot of things out there where guys say he's the greatest ball handler of all time, one of the greatest passers of all time. He doesn't really quite get the love that I think he deserves. But this card in a PSA 10, super low pop. It's roughly a $500,000 card in a PSA 10. It's a huge card, and this is a pretty nice 9, pretty well centered. And these tall boys, as you know from being a basketball guy, condition wise, when you have more surface area, there's more room for mistakes to happen. There's more room for edge chipping and all those kind of things, print issues. So it's always harder to get these tall boys in high grade. And this is a pretty nice SGC 9.
Well, the issue is where do you put them? Like in 1972, where are you going to put the damn thing to keep it from getting all bent up? You almost have to pull it out of a pack at a later date. This one is crispy and delicious for sure. 27 bids. That's at 4,100. I know this. The PSA 9s sell for what, maybe 30-ish, something like that.
Right around
29, 30. The big drop off is PSA 8s, right, which drops down to maybe $2,500, $3,500 card. But PSA 9 still pop 87. SGC 9 is right there with it. Very, very respected in the vintage game are SGC graded cards. So that Pistol Pete's available. And of course, we had to start a Cajun Cardboard video with truly a Louisiana legend. He was definitely the best ball handler of his time. That goes without saying. Jason Tatum, let's go basketball again. Let's talk about this Tatum. Let's talk about opportunity. I've heard rumors. This guy had the fastest surgery after a torn Achilles in the history of pro sports. Apparently, he was on the operating table because he did it in New York, and the Achilles specialist, the Achilles surgery repair specialist in the world, apparently lives in New York, was at the game. I'm told that they left and went and got the surgery like 9 hours later. He was on the operating table, Jesse. Crazy story. A lot of people think that's why now we're hearing rumors. He's dunked. I saw a video. He dunked a basketball. I mean, we're not even like 6 months out. He dunked a basketball. There's rumors about him coming back. We thought that the Celtics were going to just bite it and try to get a nice pick, but they decided we're going to win. Joe Mazzulla's a lunatic. He's coming back. It's not a bad time to look at Jason Tatum cards because they've taken a little bit of a hit.
I agree. And the Celtics are playing a lot better basketball now. And Tatum, look, he can be an explosive player, but he's not known for, being explosive. So, he's a shooter. He's, he's just got a good, well-rounded game as well. So it's not like back in the day, Vince Carter tore his Achilles or somebody that explosiveness is the core of their game. So I'm curious to see what he does when he come back, but I agree with you. I think opportunity is there's a big chance to take a shot at this guy. It's only a pop 3. And most of these are all of these are 2-color, right? Because it's Celtics. You have the same thing with any Larry Bird stuff back in the day. It's all 2-color. It's just white and green. But yeah, I kind of like the perforation actually in the patch. It's kind of cool. And it's NT, so biggest patch window, dual 10. I think there definitely is a kind of an arbitrage play here to make on him.
Also, a pop 3 10-10 is just stupid. Like, I don't know. I've never gotten a 10 back on a National Treasures card that I've graded. It's almost like getting a BGS 10 on a card. It just doesn't happen very often on a thick NT RPA card. But 10-10 makes it a pop 3. That card is, at $5,000 right now. Obviously, it's not going to end there, right? All the action's going to come the last day, the last couple hours, maybe even the last few minutes or seconds. But why not go in and throw something down? And you might steal a Jason Tatum, one of the best Jason Tatum cards in the world right there. Moving along, we've got an NBA gold sticker. And I noticed a lot of NBA gold stickered red PMGs in here. This is going to appeal. This is one of the players. He's going to appeal to collectors, but he's also going to appeal specifically to set collectors who are, for lack of a better term, trying to put it on the table and show you who's boss. You know what I'm saying? Like those set collectors for this set especially, and we know them by first name, they're not messing around, and they're always looking for the best of the best. This is a PSA 6 John Stockton PMG with a gold NBA label. And for those who don't understand PMGs, Jesse, pop 5, none higher. This is it. You're looking at not only one of 5.6, but the best 6 because it's got an NBA gold sticker on it.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that, right? There's no PSA 7s or 6.5s, and they're basically saying that, this is nicer than the grade itself. So it's very possible this is the nicest PMG red Stockton that exists. And yeah, the set collectors for this set are intense. They compete against each other. And look, it's one of the most important sets in, the modern basketball era for us. So it's great for the set registry for these guys when they compete. We see some crazy prices that don't make sense sometimes, but that's competition. That's true collecting, right? They don't care about the dollars. They want the card. So it's kind of fun to see some of these prices. But yeah, great card. John Stockton. I hated his guts because I was a Laker fan, but he's an absolute legend and one of the biggest shit talkers in the game, actually.
Yeah, little known fact, big time shit talker, and also had a pair of the biggest and strongest hands in the NBA. And a lot of people don't realize that he was actually, he's going to buck that stereotype. This cracker could guard, dude. He was an elite defender. Like he was strong as an ox, country strong. They say he would push you where he wanted you to. Back in the days when you could hand check, he put one of those mitts on you, and that's the direction you were going. He was just a big, strong, really high quality defender. A bunch of other PMGs for you guys just to keep your eyes on down here at the bottom. Eddie Jones, NBA sticker. Mercer, NBA sticker, Kentucky legend. And Joe Smith, former #1 overall pick, Joe Smith out of Maryland with a silver NBA sticker. And then a Ray Allen, which is a tough one to pick up with a NBA gold sticker, second-year Ray Allen right there. So let's flip over here. We'll pop over to page 1, Jesse. We'll start at the bottom. We'll kind of work our way up. If you see anything you need me to stop, just tell me. Let's talk soccer for a little bit here. And
Sure.
everybody on my channel just rolled their eyes, but we've got to talk about this. We've got to talk about the folks that are not in soccer and explain to them the importance of the particular product that this Messi card comes from. It's called Topps Dynasty, and it's 2022, and it's Champions League. Talk to me about this black parallel serial numbered to 5.
Yeah, I mean, look, in general, for those that don't know the soccer market very well, there's very few patch autos, right? It's 2015 Flawless was the first year they did any kind of patch auto, and they actually did, it's called the Soul of the Game, which was the shoe piece. And so in 2020, they started coming out with Dynasty. And this is basically a run of patch autos for the soccer market that is very important for soccer, because you have different variations as well. You have what they call them kits instead of jerseys, but you have Messi in different kits. There's different variations of it. Barcelona is absolutely that, and the Argentina kit are the two most important for Messi. But you have some very, very important soccer cards that are coming out of this product, and that will be coming out of future products as well for Topps Dynasty for soccer.
Yeah, no doubt. Every time I see it, I sort of do a double take on there. And they are horizontal. And I think all of Topps Dynasties RPAs are horizontal. Are they not? Am I wrong on that?
They are. And I think I said 2020. I meant 2022. But 2020 is the first year they did F1. But yeah, Topps Dynasty is going to be one of the flagship products for Topps moving forward. They're going to come out with the Topps Dynasty basketball product. So it'll be a very important product for a long time for Topps.
Almost like the Exquisite was for basketball in the first decade of the 2000s.
You can look at it as national treasures for Panini. I mean, all of it, right? But they're all game used, which is important.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, we got to keep on trucking here. We're scrolling through. We got a Kobe Chrome Refractor PSA 9.
How about that Herbie right there? How about that Herbie?
Right here. So you're going to have to – I'm letting you take the lead here. You know I don't know anything about football. I know he's legit. I know he's the real deal, and I know you love him because he's a West Coast guy. Go for it. Talk to me.
Yeah, he's a fellow Oregon Duck, so that's
right.
why I'm a big Herbie guy. But, yeah, this card, it is a 101 Super Bowl tickets. I mean, those are very well known from 2000. That's one of Brady's most important rookie cards, a champ ticket out of 100. And this is actually a 101 on-card auto for Herbert. He's having a hell of a year. They just beat the Chiefs, knocked them out of the Super Bowl contention or playoff contention. So they're making quite a run. He's playing very well. The team's playing really well. And I'll be very curious to see what this thing does at auction. But it's just a great Herbert card and a great rookie card for a guy that's really breaking a lot of passing records or very close to for, his first 5 years in the league. I think he's only 300 or 400 yards behind Peyton Manning for breaking the record for the most passing yards in the first 5 NFL seasons or something like that. So the guy can absolutely sling the rock. It's crazy.
God dang, he's still young, Jesse. I didn't realize that. 2020 is his rookie. I feel like we've been talking about freaking Justin Herbert for 2 decades.
I know.
The guy's in his sixth year, something like that.
Yeah, and what's really cool about him too is he grew up in Eugene, Oregon, where U of O is, and wasn't heavily recruited. Went to Oregon, spent some time behind a couple guys, and then really excelled. He's got the body type, right? He's tall,
prototype.
Strong,
he's prototype
quarterback. That's it.
Yep. No doubt about it. Prism Gold, Steph Curry. I talked about this the other day. And tell me what you think about Prism. There's a few Prism Golds in here, and this is the reason I bring this topic up. I did a video the other day, and I was trying to explain to people, there's people out there that are like, well, Fanatics Topps took the license, so people are going to care less about Prism products.
It's the
That's
opposite.
Preposterous. That is, in fact, I'm just telling you, I think it's like pouring gasoline on a fire. Now we know there's a finite number of golds, blacks, nebulas, et cetera, go down the list. Golds, especially. Golds, again, it's not for everybody. It's for the 1% of the 1% of the hobby, right? Because the budget, especially on a Curry, a LeBron, a Kobe, Giannis and guys like that is so high. But you could get one. The black one of ones, the nebula one of ones, it's almost just like, it's not even a possibility. The golds, there's 10 of them out there, and for Curry, you're talking about 140 maybe total, 130, I think, if I got that right. Total flat gold serial number to 10. It was consistent. It was always gold bordered. There's a theme to it. People are treating it as a set. That is a fact. People think set collecting 100%. Is dead. It's not dead. That is set collecting. I'm trying to get the run of Curry golds. I'm trying to get the run of LeBron, mojos. Like, those are set collectors at heart, and they act like set collectors, and that can lead to some exorbitant prices when it comes to an auction of a card like this. And there's a bunch of other gold prisms in here as well. What do you think about the gold prism moving forward over the next 5-10 years?
Yeah, well, you have to look back. Look, the Panini era for the NBA is dead, right? It's done. So you have a finite number of cards, like you mentioned. And when you look back at their run for non-patch autograph cards, what's going to be important? I mean, there's only a couple that come to mind, and that is Prism. You have Kaboom Golds, and then you could say Downtowns. I'm personally not a big Downtown guy, but I think that the Prism Golds are going to go down as the most important insert, non-patch, non-auto card from the Panini era, and I think Kaboom Golds will go down as the second most important. I mean, tell me another insert that comes to mind. There's really nothing that pops in your head of importance from that entire run that they had. So that's why these cards are so important. In first years, the 2012 Prism Golds, we've seen those sales go absolutely parabolic. But you're right, too, that guys, I know multiple people that want the entire run of X player from the Prism Gold run, right? And now there's a finite number of them. You know, there's 12 or 13 years, whatever the number is, of Prism Golds. So they want one from every year. They want to complete the run. And it's not for the faint of heart, because that, you know, that Curry, for example, is going to cost you $700-800K probably for the 2012. But yeah, you're right. The blacks, I mean, there's no set collecting for those necessarily.
Nobody would take that on. Nobody would say, my goal is to get every LeBron Prism black. You're not. It doesn't. You could be the greatest in the world.
You could try.
Be the richest person in the world. Yeah.
Someone's just not going to sell, which is what's great about our space too, though. It's like, you know, you have guys that come in the space that have the means and are well off and can write a check for anything they want, but they come up against a real true collector, and the number doesn't matter. He just wants the card. He might already be well off, or might just not care about money that much, and you're never going to get the card. And that really happens and exists. So it's almost like beating your head against the wall if you try to do a set run of blacks. Like it's almost impossible.
I think that's a bad idea. Golds, again, it's going to take some serious cheddar, but it can be done. Theoretically, it can be done. And then when you talk about Doncic, you're talking about half as many goals as Curry, or half as many as LeBron. And so Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis, guys like that, they have a few, you know, less depending on what year they are. But essentially, you could take the player, find his rookie year, subtract 2025, multiply by 10. There's your set, right? There's how many you could possibly get your hands on. If you want one from each year, good luck. It's going to be a tough venture, but I think it's going to be something that people talk about for a decade, for sure. Dual logo auto of Kevin Garnett and Dwight Howard, 2 first ballot Hall of Famers there.
Hit that Jordan next to it. That Jordan's actually a really cool card. There's actually an out of 3 variation of this card. We broker quite a few exquisite cards, and we did one, man, it must have been 8 months ago, the out of 3 variation, and it was in the 200s. Okay. So you can, and now the card would be well in the 3s easily. But you can kind of get a bargain for the same looking card, out of 10, beautiful Jordan auto on it, game used patch. Like, this is a really cool card, and there's none graded higher. You know, it's a PSA 610, but even Fanatics, they started doing modern stickering. They're saying it's really nice for the grade, even as a, you know, PSA 610. And, you know, cards this rare, you know, the autograph is honestly more important, because all these patches are pretty much one color on these cards, the whole run of them. So the autograph is really the most important thing on this card. And that is a bold blue auto that looks like, I mean, this card was signed almost 20 years ago. And it looks like it was signed yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's a great card.
For the people that are new to patch auto stuff and autograph collecting, and I am always telling people I am not an expert on autographs, I know enough to know, like, you'd rather this card be a 610 than a 99. I think I could
1,000%.
Almost everybody would agree, right?
Any high-end guy, because a lot of collectors are really going towards autograph quality. That's a really big thing. Even especially when it's low serial number, then the grade doesn't matter quite as much. It's all about the autograph and the patch. And on this card, the patch doesn't really matter because they're all napkin. So it's all about the autograph, and the grade is the grade. So just getting the card, because there's only 10 of them, kind of like the Prism Golds, owning the card itself is the win. And a great auto.
Tell me about BVG. Again, you don't see very many of these, and you don't see very many cards of this quality in a BVG slab. This is a BVG 9.5. No subgrades. I don't know if BVG, they didn't do subgrades on BVG, right? It's
BVG, they don't do subs,
No print line. Obviously, there's a little black print line down here on thousands of these things. This one is perfectly free of it. There's no ink stains, which is very common on these cards. The centering looks absolutely freaking impeccable. Even the perforated line is almost equidistant from the borders of the little tri-colored vertical separations. This is a sick BVG 9.5 copy. this has to sell for way more than a PSA 9, I'm guessing, right? Do you think that there's a gambler out there, Jesse? Is there a gambler out there? You know what I'm going with this, right?
Yeah. Look, I mean, whether you crack it and submit it, I mean, good luck. I never advise doing that. I think buy the card as is, but there are gamblers out there that do dumber things. So you never know. Look, this is my favorite card in trading cards. I'm a Magic Johnson fan. He's my favorite player of all time. The fact that he and his rival from the 80s are on the same rookie card together, and then you throw Dr. J in the mix. It's just a pretty incredible card that came together. So I love this card. Sounds like you know a lot about the card as well. You hit all the main points, right? You hit the black mark, you hit the perforations, the print issues, all those things. So getting a 9.5, and look, BBG is not known that well for their vintage, right? No. So it is a bargain holder, but from a big respected brand in Beckett. And so who knows what this one could do? But yeah, is there a gambler that tries to crack and go for a PSA 10? I wouldn't advise even trying to review it. If you're going to do it, you got to crack it and go in fresh. But yeah, it's an amazing card that someone's going to get at a bargain.
It's a fascinating card because we know the pop rate is minuscule. I think the PSA 10 is like 500, 600, 700 grand or something like that. A PSA 9, you're looking at 25 or something, right?
20 to 25, like yeah. And there's only 20 PSA 10s.
20, that's a big margin. That's somebody who, if they've got enough time on their hands, they may submit this thing to PSA 15 times, and it might still make sense, right? That's maybe a really stubborn gambler's card right there, or somebody who just wants a card that's a little bit better than a PSA 9. Moving along, we got another tall boy in great condition. This is a near mint PSA 8 with a top 5% eye appeal sticker from Fanatics. That's a pretty serious. That's very, very rare. I know because I've submitted a crap load. There's your sticker up there at the top. Jesse, when I first decided to vault with Fanatics, they sent a bunch of dudes to my house. They bagged everything up, put it in zip ties. They flew it out to your place in Oregon. They put it in the Fanatics vault.
Coordinate all that.
You were with Fanatics.
All that. Yeah.
You were with PWC.
That was right after the storm, right?
100%. I said, no way. I'm not taking another hurricane or any gators coming in here. I'm getting these things out of here. When they got there, I had 6 complete sets of 1986 Fleer. Okay. And back then you could only get eye appeal stickers on 86 or before. So 6 sets times 143, right? Including stickers. That's what? 800 cards, 800 plus cards.
Yeah.
I got 2 5% stickers. 2. Yep. And they looked at all of those cards. So 2 out of 800 chance on the stuff that I submit. And, I had 143 of them were PSA 10s. Then it's just tough to get stickers, man. So
yeah, they're basically saying they think it should be graded higher. I mean, that's
they were basically saying
yes. Sticker says right, and looking at this on the surface, the left to right centering is almost always off on this card. It's dead nuts. It's barely off top to bottom. I haven't looked at this card in close detail, but my assumption is the corners are pretty sharp as well. Even the back looks pretty well centered. So it's maybe a review candidate for PSA. Try to get an 8.5.
Let me just show people what you can do on Fanatics. I mean, you don't believe Jesse on corners. I mean, you can zoom in here so close. The human eye is worthless when you can zoom in this close.
Looks really good. Jesus, this card's beautiful.
I mean, this is a really good 8. This is
why the hell is that an 8?
I don't know. It's a really good 8.
Wow.
Beautiful
card. Let's hit that Mickey Mantle auto left. Hit that Magic. So
I want to talk about the Magic and the Bird together. Yeah. So these are special to me. Perfect. Yeah. Talk to me about the Magic. It says it's a pop 5. It's a 10-10. I love the silver Sharpie. I don't know what the right thing is to do, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say, people get your cards signed silver, white, gold, ballpoint pen, whatever. I don't love like the blue or the black ballpoint pen. I like the Sharpie that's in contrast. If it's a light card, dark Sharpie. If it's a dark card, I like a light Sharpie. And this one really pops. This is the Magic, and that autograph is a 10. PSA DNA. Obviously, these cards were not pack pulled autographs. These are just there they are.
So there's only 5 of these in dual 10. This is his first individual pose, right? Because we just looked at the rookie, and that has Bird and Dr. J on it. So this is a really cool card for Magic. These cards had quite a moment during COVID. They fell back down a little bit, but it's just really hard to find a dual PSA 10 of this card.
Yeah, well, there's only 5 in the world.
And the Bird's even more rare.
The Bird's a 1, right?
Bird's a pop 1. Is it right there?
What I thought.
It might be taking off a little bit.
What do we know about Connor McDavid? I don't follow hockey like you do. When he came out, he
Yeah.
was, the next Gretzky. Is he there? Is he moving in that direction? Is he going to be mentioned amongst the all-time greats? Is he a top 10 guy before it's all said and done? I don't follow hockey at all. I just know he was hot as a firecracker for the longest time. I
only follow it because of cards, to be honest. I will say I had a great time watching the Stanley Cup Finals this last year and the USA versus Canada, like that. Yeah, like, hockey's pretty electric. And I've had buddies of mine that are not big hockey fans, and you go to a hockey game, they say it's the most fun atmosphere you've ever had at any sporting event. So I got to go. I want to go to like a Vegas Knights game or something like that. But look, he's the modern day Wayne Gretzky, the most well-rounded. Because look, Wayne Gretzky could score, and Ovechkin just passed a scoring record. But Wayne Gretzky was one of the greatest passers of all time as well. And that's what McDavid has. He's the most well-rounded modern-day hockey player that we have in our game. And, any hockey fans out there, if I'm wrong, correct me. But that's my understanding of McDavid and his greatness. And I think it's 2 years in a row they made the Stanley Cup, or they've been right there. And he's the cornerstone and the backbone of that team. So, this is what I really love about this card, too, is, Upper Deck, it's an exquisite product. And we know emblems of endorsement from basketball, right? Like that's we just saw the Kobe jersey number go for 1.2 million, right? Yeah. And those are always, they're numbered out of 15 or numbered out of 10, depending on the year, typically. This one's out of 15. It's a rookie. I mean, this should be a monster card, especially when you have 2 patch windows, both are 3 color windows. It's a 10-10. It's a pop 1 of 2. Like,
checks a lot of boxes.
Checks a lot of boxes. A lot of boxes. So
look at the bids. Look at the bids, Jesse. It's a big number.
This feels to me like one that's going to have some late extended bidding competition, because it's one of those cards that if the right hockey collector gets it, you're not seeing it for quite some time.
Yeah. I think LeBron James is the comp for him. Not because of, like he's
that's
6'4",
not a bad
6'5".
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But just because he
just
does
has to
everything.
Win a couple, right?
He does everything. He's going to do it. He's going to put up the aggregate numbers. He's going to be there forever. And again, I don't know a damn thing about hockey, but like when I think about Connor McDavid, from everything that I've ever heard, it's like, man, he checks every single box. He does everything great, and he's going to do it for a long time, it sounds like. Let's get up here. I had another one flagged, a couple of really big Lamar Jacksons here. That might be the most crazy patch I have ever seen in my entire life.
That is what's cool about Lamar. There's actually some insane Lamar Jackson RPA patches, 5 color patches or whatever it may be. But this isn't his shield, obviously, but I believe they have 1 or 2 more variations. Mahomes had the same thing. He had a laundry tag, a shield, and then there was a third one. It might have been a swoosh or something. Anyway, there's 3 variations of 101. Lamar is no different. I believe he has 3 as well. And in my opinion, and this is the second best behind the shield, I'd much rather have this insane Baltimore head than the laundry tag. So really cool card, good grade on it. Lamar, look, I mean, I think we've seen this year how important he is to that football team, right? They're a completely different team when he's on the field. They're making a playoff run, and who knows? They could go. It's pretty wide open this year. You look at Rams being the favorite, obviously, because they have a very well-rounded defense. Stafford's going to win MVP likely, but there's a couple teams out there that we kind of expect. The Bills are still looking pretty decent. Had a great comeback win this weekend, and then you look at Lamar and the Ravens, and I wouldn't sleep. I feel like Lamar's going to win a Super Bowl. Like, he is too talented, and he doesn't get the love he deserves. This is another guy. Like, even though he's not injured now, look at Tatum and how cheap his stuff is. Like, Lamar goes and wins a Super Bowl this year, his stuff's going to go crazy. Yeah, because he's got 2 MVPs? Is that right?
I think that's right.
I think he's got 2 MVPs, and he always says the right things. His teammates love him. Harbaugh loves him, and like I said, they're a completely different football team. It's no different than Joe Burrow. Like, the Bengals don't have a shot to win a football game right now unless Joe Burrow's playing quarterback.
That's right.
And we've seen that this year, and it's the same thing that goes for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, no doubt. You know who else was like that back in the day? And obviously Lamar throws the ball much better, but Michael Vick was the same way. Like, if Michael Vick didn't play for the Falcons, they'd have lost 14 games.
And if he didn't have the dogfighting stuff, man, his cards would be ballistic.
Bro, he'd be like Barry Sanders at quarterback. He'd be like the Barry Sanders of quarterbacks.
That's it. Well, and right next to that, Lamar is his most important one of his most important non-autograph patch rookies as well. His Black Finite 101. I mean, 101s. We just talked about him earlier. Like, it's impossible to collect sets. It's impossible to find them. you just don't see these. A Lamar collector gets this and they'll probably never see the light of day. So it's kind of one of those things where here's your chance. Super, super rare and important card for Lamar.
That's a football only thing, right? Because I don't recall any finites in basketball. Yeah.
There's some variation. I think Curry has in 14. I think he has a finite black.
Oh, he might.
There's 2, and he has the true black as well. And I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank right now if Lamar has a true black. But if this is his only one, because Mahomes in 2017 did not have a true black, he just had a finite, which that is his most important non-patch autograph rookie. And it's the same thing for Lamar, assuming that he doesn't have a true black as well.
Yeah. Big time cards right there for Lamar Jackson collectors. Big time potential.
Joe, there's my guy. Those
green kabooms. All right.
We talk about black 101s being unattainable. It's the same thing for green kabooms 101. That thing, that'll do a much bigger number than 28,000. Just watch. Those are, and when you hold these cards, like I didn't get kabooms until I
When did it start? When did the green start, Jesse? Do you remember?
This is 18. 18, I believe, is or 19. 18's first year gold. Maybe 19 is first year green.
Okay.
I'm torn right now.
Have they continued making greens every year since then? Yep. Okay, so there's
Yep.
But Montana's not in every kaboom insert set.
I don't believe so.
No, because I think on the Legends they kind of rotate. At least in basketball, I know they do. Like Garnett might be in there one year, but not the next. Then
I don't think you get a Montana every year.
Yeah,
which is what makes it even more rare. But these cards in person, in hand, is what makes them really special. Like I didn't get it until I held a Kaboom Gold.
I'm super excited to announce that BCW is an affiliate partner of the Cajun Cardboard brand. When you check out at BCW, use the promo code Cajun to receive 10% off of your order.
In my hand, and you're like, oh shit, these are really pretty. They're aesthetically beautiful cards. And I think that's like, look at the video when you're looking at this card, you can see the refracting nature of the card when the light hits it. And that's what makes these cards so special. See if it can show off the card a little bit here. See, look at that thing.
Oh yeah, dude.
It moves while you look at it.
Yeah.
Like they are gorgeous in person. So I think, people who've never bought one before, held one before, they don't realize that these cards are some of the most aesthetically pleasing cards I've ever seen.
Montana retired as the greatest quarterback ever by consensus, probably, I would say.
Oh, now 4-0.
Now what? Where is he?
I still have him as number 2.
Number 2 on Jesse's list.
I got Mahomes at 3, but I got him at 2.
We talked about the Prism Golds. Here's a LeBron. Throw the grade out the window. Does not matter. You want to put it in PSA 8 slab, put it in there. It's got good eye appeal sticker, which gives you some idea if you do have to cross it over because you're OCD and you're collecting your LeBron run in PSA. Now you can do that. If you're collecting in BGS, leave it in. 2013 is my favorite year Prism. It's my
just going to say the same thing. There's so much gold on it. Yeah, there's so much gold, right?
There's so much. It doesn't matter what color it is, Jesse. There's so much color. Like I'm buying back into Giannis, who was a rookie in 2013, and I'm getting these reds and these blues, and I got one over here off screen. And there's so much red. There's so much blue. It's amazing. The borders aren't razor thin like Topps Chrome and Topps Finest and some of these others were. There's gold everywhere on 2013 golds, and it's a really good looking card.
We have a Kobe PSA 10, and we were just in Philly for the Philly show this weekend, and I can't tell you, that's probably the card. And I mean, we have a Mahomes Gold Prism PSA 10 in there. There's some other big cards in the case. I'd say that they pointed at the Kobe almost more than anything. It caught everyone's eye how pretty that card really is. Yeah. It's just a gorgeous card.
Yeah, well, it's also a color match for him. So that's, kind of a big deal.
That's true.
There's the Bird. We talked about the Magic Pop 5. Yep. Now let's talk about the Bird Pop 1. Who you're a Magic over Bird guy. I think most people are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I love Bird. Like,
don't give me the like it's don't come at me with obviously. No, it's not obvious. Don't give me that crap.
What do you mean?
You can fall on that side, but don't act like it's a given.
Peak Bird, baby, let's go.
Peak Bird, 3-year Bird. Go look at that peak 3-year Bird versus peak 3-year LeBron, and tell me who comes out on top. It's a lot closer than you think. Bird and his peak was
I do love
damn problem.
Larry Bird. I do love me some Larry Bird. And this card, look, it's a pop 1. You might never see it again. This card could do an astronomical number. It's a hard card to grade in general, 81 tops. I mean, I think the pop is in the teens overall for these, if I'm not mistaken.
And they printed a shitload. They printed a ton.
It's a tough card. So getting a dual 10 on this, and I think they chose the blue looks good on this one because they got the green. It's against the green. But yeah, man, this card could do 100K. Like I don't know. It's a rare card. It's a 101.
What do you think are the odds of the same buyer snatching both of them, Jesse? You
very
think
high.
I think it's very high too.
Just unless they already have one of the other magics, right?
Yeah.
But still, yeah, very high.
And look, I don't know if this was dumb luck or not. It was probably very thought through, but you guys putting both of these in the same auction, yeah, that's the right decision, right? Because they're going to feed on each other. They're going to feed each other, and they're going to bring in people who may not have bid on one, but with an opportunity to put both in their collection. Now you're really telling stories about the cards in your collection, and you're putting together a picture for Instagram for the ages. If you put those two together, that's something, man.
Yep.
Moving along, we have got a couple of LeBron limited logos, 04 exquisite limited logos, 04 exquisite limited logos. So talk to me, because these are different cards, and I don't think a lot of people knew that 2004 exquisite had two different LeBron James limited logos cards. I didn't.
Yes. Okay, so same with Kobe. Kobe has two variations. He has a finger point variation and a non-finger point.
Does every player?
Jordan does not. He only has 50.
Okay.
So I'm not sure why they did two variations, but the LeBrons are great. These are both great patches. So you can, there's a lot of people that own both of them. So no different than the Bird and Magic that we put in together. It was strategic to put both of these together as well. But yeah, 04 exquisite limited logos. Again, aesthetically, when you have this card in hand, people don't realize how pretty it is. You pull up the video on this one, and there, even the background behind LeBron, the way it kind of refracts when you hit it in the light, it's just a really pretty card. The hollow foil around the patch window, like these cards, when you get them in person, the hollow foil for exquisite is really what makes these cards, pop. Like look at that hollow foil hitting the light. Like the background behind LeBron actually moves a little. It's just beautiful card, beautiful design. They knocked exquisite out of the park. The majority of the cards they did for the whole run from 03 to 09. And this card is it's just a great 3-color patch. Same with the other one.
Yeah, and just so people can see, here's the other one. Same drill, same insert, but a different limited logos, the LJ2. All kinds of stuff going on with this patch. And I love this. It's just pure colorful chaos on this one.
Chaos. Yeah, that's right.
Chaos right there. I love it.
Yeah.
Both 10 for the autograph, which is crucial for would-be autograph collectors. There's another Montana. If you've got to choose between the Montana 10 and the Montana Kaboom, Jesse, if you had to choose, all things being equal.
I hate to say it's actually hard.
Yeah.
I hate to say it's actually hard because
how could you explain this to a 70-year-old that there's even this question can even be asked? You know what I'm saying?
So,
going back.
I'll give you my 30-second reason why it's not easy.
Okay.
So we already talked about the Panini era being over, and there's probably two inserts that really stand out in my opinion. That's Prism Golds and Kabooms.
Yep.
You have, I assume the 2019 is his first year green. Okay. Assuming that. I can't remember if there's an 18 or not, but assuming that's his first year green. Now you have a card its value is based on pure rarity. There's one.
Yep.
That's it. Right. This card is someone's opinion. Right. It's a PSA 10. I think there's 60 something Montana PSA 10, or maybe more. Sometimes I get Rice and Montana mixed up. Maybe it's over 100 for Montana and 60 something for Rice. Actually, I think that is right. But you have a card that's not as rare. It's a rookie, so it's more important in that regard. But
115.
115. So okay.
But look at this. Here's what you're talking about. I mean, that's what I was trying to allude to is like, dude, come on.
It's tough. It's tough.
1 in 300 chance.
But if you want to own a Montana 10, you can. If you want to own that green 101, this is your chance.
You got 48 hours.
It might not ever surface again.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where I would actually lean towards the green 101. And look, there's been all this shit going around lately with grading companies and, corruption or collusion or whatever, which look, I try not to get involved in that stuff and just focus on, doing my job. But the 1 of 1, there's no, and it doesn't matter if it's a PSA 10 or PSA 8, in my opinion.
Or
right?
PSA
Grading doesn't even matter. The card is the card. So you as a collector want to get out of the game of worrying about a grading company's opinion. Go by rarity. Go by manufactured rarity, where it doesn't matter what a grading company says.
Yeah,
that's simple. And look, you've been in the game for a long time. I've been in the game for a long time. I'm pretty numb to, things, conspiracy theories and all this kind of stuff that comes up, right? Pretty numb to that stuff.
Yeah.
Or not getting the grade you think something can get. Like, there's a human element to it. That's the truth about grading. It's not perfect. So you're going to get lucky sometimes and get 10s, but we never hear about, people never post how lucky they got on a PSA 10 when it should have been a PSA 9. You always hear about the opposite. It's just like you hear about people's gambling wins. You never hear about their losses.
That's a great analogy.
But it's just the opposite in our market, because everyone jumps on social media and complains, and then they jump on the train.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but nobody heard about it when you got a 10 that should have been a 9.
Yeah.
So
and unfortunately, negativity sells, and negativity
it does.
clicks.
Look at our news cycle. Look at our news cycle in general in the world today.
Yeah, I'm chilling on that.
Fear mongering, all this stuff. It's like, I actually hate social media.
Yeah.
Because I like to create positivity around me. And unfortunately, in our space, you get on social media and most of it's pretty negative.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I think that's one of the worst parts about our space and our hobby and our community is the negativity. It's like, I just don't understand. If someone's collecting something, why shit on them? If why be so negative all the time? Yeah. I don't get it. It should be an amazing hobby. We're talking about sports that we all love, and I know we're all passionate about it, and that's where a lot of the emotion comes from. But man, I just wish people could be more positive, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. One of the biggest.
That was a rant. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's what it's for, man. That's what the channel's for. And I'm with you, man. Negativity sells. I try to end every video with, staying positive in the hobby. It's not, I'm not perfect either, but the one thing that really irks you is when somebody posts a card and it could be a $50,000 card. It could be a card that means so much to the person that posted it. He's obviously posting it because he's proud of it or she's proud of it. And then somebody from the comments is like, well, you wasted your money on that. You could have bought this.
Yeah, why'd you pay that
didn't deserve a 10 or something like that. Like, that's just chicken shit. It's just like, why even just don't post it. Just don't, just move on, block the account, just move on. Don't post anything. I don't really understand it, but it is prevalent. And it's one of the downsides. It's probably the biggest downside, to social media. So
I agree.
Whatever.
I agree.
Easy, block and move on. Just block that dude and move on. Right.
No
more commenting on my channel. All right, talk to me about the Gretzky. To an untrained eye, to somebody who doesn't know anything about a Peachy or Gretzky rookie cards, I'm looking at the right edge, and I'm going to be like, what the hell's going on with the right edge?
I love the right edge.
There's more to these things. There's more to these stories. Talk to me.
Yep. Okay, so Topps and O-Pee-Chee, same year rookie card from for Gretzky in 79. One is the American version, which is Topps. Canadian version is O-Pee-Chee. Look, that right edge is natural cut for that card. That is an incredible cut for that card. I love the rugged edge look on the right side of that card. Like, that is actually a natural cut for the card. What you have in this card a lot of times is registration issues. Like a really blurry image, right? Really blurry image. This one's actually not bad at all. It's actually pretty good. You have a ton of white print dots typically on this card all over the place. This one looks pretty clean. And it's just 79 was a tough printing year, especially for O-Pee-Chee. And what's crazy too, you want to talk about low pop? Well, the O-Pee-Chee 10 is a pop 2. Topps pop 10 or PSA 10 is a pop 2 as well. Actually, I correct that. Somebody cracked out a PSA 10 recently to try to get it autographed, and it did not get back into a PSA 10.
Oh, so one of the two 10s?
The Topps PSA 10 pop is now a pop 1.
Oh.
Yes, which unfortunately, yeah. So it's now a pop 1.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the card. Just like the 86 Fleer is the Jordan card for the basketball world. That's the card. The only difference is there's an O-Pee-Chee and a Topps,
and he has a jumbo thing called a Sportscaster that's a rookie as well, which is kind of a cool card.
Yeah.
But you get these vintage guys, and that's what's cool about these vintage guys is there's literally one rookie typically to choose from. You got two of Jordan with 84, but still, it's 79 O-Pee-Chee is the rookie over Topps for Gretzky.
Yep. We talked about Montana. And again, just like you paired the Magic and the Bird autograph, pop 5 and pop 1. I love the fact that you could pick up the Montana and the Rice, right?
In the same auction.
In the same auction. They are like Stockton and Malone if Stockton and Malone had won, a bunch of Super Bowls.
Seriously. And look, I'm a Niner fan, so this is a homer statement. But
oh, man.
I think that if you consider how dominant they were for their position and still no one has touched them.
Yep.
And not even gotten close.
Well, Rice
you can make the argument he's the greatest football player of all time.
Agree. I say he is.
There you go. That's my guy. And I met him once at a meet and greet that was like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But you watch someone's mannerisms and how they treat people and how
Graceful,
they interact
dude.
with people. Bro, I looked at him and I was like, hey, is your face hurt yet? Because he's been cheesing for all these photos. And he's like,
yeah,
I love this shit. That's what he said to me. Because I love this shit. Just a super nice guy. Asking me questions for the short time I had with him. But yeah, I'm a huge Jerry Rice fan. That's my favorite football player of all time.
Some of the game's greatest ambassadors, Rice reminds me of Dr. J. Dr. J was a pro during, the Coke era and fighting and the NBA merger and all that. And Dr. Dr. J was just an ambassador for pro basketball who handed it to Bird and Magic. And so Rice kind of reminds me of that. Like, he's not a vintage player, but he's not ultra modern. Like, when he got in the end zone, he's handing that bitch to the ref, like he's done it a few times,
Oh, trust me. I got to fight it with my 9-year-old boys. They get in the end zone. They want to do all this stupid dancing shit that you see on TV all the time. It's like, that's not what we do. That's not good sportsmanship. You hand the ball to the official and you're done. That's it. You can celebrate on the sideline with your teams a little bit your teammates if you want to, but don't be a showboater. That's not what we do.
And we're at the top, and not coincidentally, the top two cards are both 86 Fleers, albeit two different cards. We got a PSA 10 over here. We've got a PSA 6 with a 9 for the autograph, and it's a gold Sharpie autograph on this one with 24 bids. This one's at 74 without the BP in here. Of course, remember, all these prices are without BP, but also remember, none of these prices mean anything. They mean nothing at this point. It just
48 hours left is a ton.
Yeah, it just happens to be the direction that we decided to look at the cards. We sorted by price. It does not matter at all.
This card's huge with the gold ink, honestly. I love the gold ink on this card. I mean, it's probably my second favorite. Silver just pops so much on an 86 Fleer Jordan, but the gold – everyone loves gold, and the gold looks incredible on this. And it's also really hard to get a 10 auto with either gold or silver Sharpie on these. Yeah. So a 9 is actually pretty solid. It's much better than getting a 9 on the blue ink. So PSA 6 with a 9 auto, gorgeous card, signed 86 Fleer Jordans. You just can't go wrong with them. I mean, there was the PSA 910 that sold for over $2 million. That was actually verified as being real. I talked to the auction house. It's legit. I think it was too much for the card. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But it was a real sale. And these things down the road, especially gold ink. I don't know the population on gold ink autos, but it is not a lot. Most of them are signed in blue. Yep. And you find a gold ink or a silver ink, and you're a Jordan autograph collector. I mean, this is one of the grails you can have in your collection.
Jesse, the 910 that sold, I don't know if you know the answer to this, and I don't want to get you in trouble. And if there's something you can't disclose, tell me. But was that one of those that very recently was presented to Jordan in that private signing where I think he signed 6 of them?
It was. Yeah. It was one of those. Yeah.
Can I ask you another question as it pertains to that? So 6 Jordan cards, they were all PSA 10s?
There were 6 dual 10s and then 1 or 2 9s. Yeah.
Okay. Those cards, why the blue ink or the black ink? I can't remember, but why not the white Sharpie or the silver Sharpie or the gold Sharpie? Is there a reason behind that? Was it just to get a higher autograph grade? It's easier to get a 10 autograph grade with a ballpoint. I mean, because a lot of people, when they saw that, going back to our social media thing, I didn't post anything, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, I can barely see the autographs. I would have hated Jordan a white Sharpie. That's just me. Yeah. But again, I don't know anything about autographs, but that's just where I was thinking.
Look. It might have been a beggars can't be choosers scenario. Maybe that's the pen that he wanted to use. It's nearly impossible. I mean, the fact that he got it done is super impressive. I mean, look, I talked to that guy 3 years before he did it. Yep. And he told me he was going to get it done. And then once I, left Fanatics and started Acquir, I reached out to him to touch base and see. We hadn't talked a lot. And he's like, ironically, I'm getting it done in a few weeks. And sure shit, he did. He did. So look, I would have been happy to get it done on any pen. I mean, give me a black pen, give me a blue pen, a silver, a gold, doesn't matter. Yeah. So he might not have been able to choose the pen. It might have been out of his control. It might have been out of his control. I know he got a lot of flack for the pen, but look, it's the only 6 dual 10 Jordans that exist. Yep. It's that simple. And then, even the 910s are near impossible to get. So huge cards. I commend him for getting it done. And what a crazy, passionate project to take so long to get done, but he did it.
Yeah, it's impressive for sure, just to get him to sit down and do anything like that.
Yeah. Yep.
I've got the PSA 10 over the last 2 years on the screen. It's up 30%. And again, there's some undulation. I say this looks like a fat guy on a treadmill for an EKG, but 10s are not all the same. New label, old label, off-center 10s, not off-center 10s. There's all kinds of issues, right? But I think there's enough of a sample size where we know, like historically, if we go back to all time, of course, we saw this, right? This is what I'm calling the beginning of a smiley face graph, right? You've heard about the middle finger graphs, right?
Yep.
Yesterday we had an erection graph. I don't know if you heard about that, but this is the beginning.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's like a middle finger, only much more ridiculous, right? We call it the erection graph. But this is what I think is going to end up being a smiley face one day, and it means it's going to go all the way down and come all the way back up, right? There was a middle finger graph at one point around here, and now it's turning into a smiley face graph. It's undeniable. I know for sure it's undeniable because I watched this card go from 700 or 800,000 to the 140s, the 150s consistently, and now you just don't see very many selling for below 200,000.
Right.
You know, they're starting to peak up. I think it's been a long time. What was this right here? 204. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive sales over 200,000. Before that, it was maybe 8 out of 10 under 200,000. I think that's undeniable. You know, from just looking at a graph on paper, it looks like this card's moving back upward, right?
Yep. Look, it's one of those cards where the bigger our market gets, the bigger this card gets.
Yeah.
Because the supply is over 300 for a PSA 10, then you need new participants that can spend that kind of money on these cards. And that's going to take some time. I think Fanatics actually done a really good job with awareness first base. Now they have the basketball licensing. They're getting football early next year. They will continue to spend money to get more people involved in our hobby. And I think that, you know, everyone that owns trading cards should be excited about the value of their trading cards in the future. These funds we've been talking about, you know, this is much different than COVID. I mean, much, much different. There's real money coming into the space. And I just think that, you know, the collectors are going to get a little frustrated because some of the cards they love are going to become unattainable. Totally understand. But the cards that you do have are going to go up in value. So it's a little bit of a catch-22. But, you know, there's a lot going on. I think the only thing that's going to slow down this train is a macroeconomic issue, honestly, which I do think 2026, something has to happen. The stock market's been parabolic for a long time. You know, Bitcoin settled back down, but, you know, they're going to fight inflation with rates now. And, you know, now we're getting to an economic show. But, you know, I just think that our market's poised for a lot of growth in the future. Obviously, I'm in it every day and I'm bullish on it. But that's one of the cards that is a really good indicator too of market strength from top to bottom.
Yeah. I think card knowledge, card expertise, experience, and a really scrutinizing eye and asking the question, why is this card priced where it is? And I think spending a lot of time thinking is really going to be at a premium over the next 12 months. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to be a doomsday theorist, but I'm telling you, there's going to be some really tough decisions people need to make and some real thinking that people need to do before they buy certain cards and really think, well, what's the card people are going to want in 2035? Not 2025, 2035. What's the card people are going to want? Because some of the same mistakes we're seeing today, those mistakes were made in 2020. And so, you know, history is repeating itself. And it's not the same as COVID. I agree with you. It's definitely not the same. It's not the exact same. But a lot of lessons could be learned from that first go through. A famous Hollywood director who knows nothing about sports or sports cards comes to you and Brock and says, hey, you know, I was talking to Cajun Cardboard and I'm trying to spend $5 million in the hobby. And he told me to call you guys because you guys are the best consigners in the business. He wants to buy, you know, the staples. He wants to buy the blue chips. He doesn't want a green kaboom. He doesn't want, you know, a downtown. He doesn't want a black finite of anything. He wants the blue chips, right? So maybe vintage, maybe 80s, maybe into the 90s for each sport. In basketball, you know, I think there's 2 directions, maybe 3 directions you can go. I think you go Bird Magic rookie. I think you go 86 Fleer Jordan, and I think you probably go Star 101 Jordan. I think those in basketball are the 3 you go. Where do they go in football? Where do they go in football? Is it the Montana and the Rice, or do you have to go back further?
No, it's definitely the Montana and the Rice. Then you can go Jim Brown rookie 58 tops, which is a really tough one. There's a lot of print issues, centering issues with that one. You can go Walter Payton rookie. That's another big staple. If you want to do quarterbacks, you can do Namath. You could do Star. Bradshaw's a brutal year. That's a tough rookie.
Can it be done in the 90s? Is football different? You can't do it in the 90s because they printed too many. I know the late 80s they just printed too many. So Barry Sanders, you're out. You're out.
So yeah, I stayed in the 80s because you're talking 80s. I think 89 score Barry Sanders is just the population. It's such a cheap card. It's like
can't
so
do
easy
it,
to
right?
get.
Yeah. What about Griffey? You can't. Can you do it with Griffey? Is there a Griffey?
I mean, you would go dual 10 if you want a Griffey, Griffey rookie.
Yeah.
Or you go into the serial numbered 90s and you'd go for like a Gem Master 101, or something that's a little more attainable. You can do his mirror gold. You can do
Jeter's foil, right? Jeter's foil in a 10.
Jeter for foil for sure.
Yeah.
Credentials Jeter now out of 7 from the 90s is a really, really tough one. There's a handful. Same thing with Griffey. Griffey's now is tough. So there's, and you can do the same thing for football in the 90s. There's 101 Gem Masters and all that stuff, right?
And hockey's easy, right?
Yeah, and hockey, it's like, it's Gretzky.
Yeah. You pick one. Tops or Peachy. Just pick.
Gretzky.
Yeah.
Yep.
You pick it and buy the highest grade you can get.
Yep. Yeah. And then look, baseball, there's a slew of vintage baseball that's, staples. 52 Mantle, 48 Jackie, 33 Gowdy Ruth, yellow or red. The other two aren't as important in my opinion. I think the most underrated card in all of vintage baseball is Ted Williams rookie, play ball rookie.
Yeah.
You go T206s back to Cobb and all those guys.
Jesse, I haven't seen a Honus Wagner in a really long time. I don't pay too much attention. Did I miss one, or has there not been one in a really long time?
There's the one that didn't hit reserve in Golden,
right?
But it was a $5 million reserve. I think it got over 4, which I thought the card was worth in the mid 4s. So it was a high reserve. And reserves, in my opinion, they hinder the buying process, right? As a buyer, you're like, well, you don't get emotionally invested because you're like, oh, this seller's going to have a high reserve, and I don't really have a shot at it. So you don't get that competition, that emotional investment because of it. But there's been a couple big ones that have moved behind the scenes privately. They haven't hit the auction block, but there's only 60 something of them. And it's just tough to find them, Jesse, like I know guys that own multiple copies.
I've never bid on a card with a reserve. If I see a reserve, I don't bid, just out of principle. I don't know if that's
there you go. That's just my point right there. That's why
you've lost me as a bidder. No matter what the card is, no matter how much I need it, I don't do it. But let me ask you a question, because I'm curious and I've never really thought this through, because I've always just buried my head in the sand and ignored reserve bid cards. If I bid on a card and I'm the high bidder, but I don't hit the reserve, does it tell you didn't hit the reserve, or do you think you're the high bidder and you're going to win it, and then you later find out?
On the auction, it'll say reserve not met. So even
it'll say reserve not met. Okay, that's
if you're high bid, it'll still say reserve not met, and then just nothing happens. Now, there are instances where after the auction, the seller might tell the auction house, "Well,
I changed my mind.
I changed my mind. Actually, I might take that offer if that guy's willing to buy it for that number." And I have heard instances where they get a private deal done after the fact.
Okay.
So that's possible as well.
All right.
But nothing's binding. Yeah.
Well, interesting. Yeah. I didn't know enough about it because I never partook, right? If I see a reserve, I just, and again, I'm usually not bidding on cards with reserves. There's just not that many of them. I've never, on Fanatics, I don't see them very often. On Golden Weeklies, you don't see it too much on Golden either.
No, you don't.
So anyway, all right. What else is going on with Acquir? Anything else you want to let the people know? I know it's Acquir, ACQUIR.co. You can find Jesse and Brock on Instagram. Go give their page a follow on Instagram. Their website is something you definitely need to look at because it's got their inventory on it. They are consigning cards just like the cards that we saw today. Some of them are being held privately. They're not actually in these auctions. So some of them go in auctions from Acquir. Sometimes Acquir's just got them sitting around. Where do you just kind of put them under your bed at home? Just kind of throw them under your bed?
Yeah. Under my pillow.
What's your address again?
Yeah. No, yeah, we've got a beta feature of a trade feature that's live on our site right now. We're still working through some bugs on it. People can get around and play on that, throwing some trade offers on cards, which is a great way today. If you have a Grail and you want to get value out of it because it's gone up, but you want to get something in return, trading is actually a great way to get deals done where you don't have to sell it, hold the money, pay taxes, and wait for something else to come up, right? You can just trade it. Yeah. So we have that feature now on our site. We've got a lot of stuff coming next year. We've been really building out the website, putting a lot of time behind the scenes on that. So lots to come. But yeah, we've got a big auction closing Thursday. Premier, that's the closest thing that that we've really got going on. 67 cards, and it should be a fun one.
Guys, take a look. We didn't get a chance to talk about all 67, but 67 of these cards are from Acquir. When you get on Fanatics, click the Premier button, and then go over on the left. There's a filter. Hit December Premier Auction, then hit Acquire, and you'll jump straight to those 67 cards. I'll put a Cajun link in this YouTube description so you guys can just click the link and go straight to the 67 cards. If one of these cards caught your eye, that's great. If one of these cards you're the high bidder on, I know you don't want to tell anybody, but put it in the comments. If there's a card in here that piques your interest and you've got the means to take down one of these monster whale grails in this auction. Jesse, that's it, man. I appreciate you coming on. We'll have to do it again in January for the Premier auction then as well, because I'm sure y'all are going to have some great inventory in January as well.
We should. Yep. Thanks for having me, man. Always appreciate it and always fun.
You got it. Guys, thank you for watching. If you want to hit Jesse up, go ahead and find him on Instagram. Shoot him a DM if you've got a card you're looking for. Jesse, what's the threshold? I know you don't want people looking for John Morant base, optic rookie card.
Privately it's 10K.
10K. Okay. You're looking for a card 10K or more. You're looking to consign a card 10K or more. Jesse's your guy. Give him a shot. And first offer me the card and let me turn it down. I get a right of first refusal. Then reach out to Jesse at Acquir and ask him to help you move that card and find a buyer. Thank you guys for watching. As always, keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. And peace.